Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome on in. Um, we are going to have a fun time today. We are with the Crafty Bunch today, and we are doing a Friday pajama party, our monthly Friday pajama party. So it's crafting. There are a number of presenters who will come on crafting. We must wear our pajamas. So there you go. I had to get ready, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I need to still wear pajamas. So there you have it. But that's a good thing, right? That's not too hard to do, is get ready in your pajamas. So welcome on in, and when you come in, I hope you'll say hello and let me know where you're watching from. I love to know where you're watching from. And oh my goodness, is it hot where you are today? I don't even know. I think we were supposed to get up to 103 here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so I'm not sure. I don't even like to know. That's just the regular temperature, not anything that is like the feels like. I don't even know what that is. I don't even want to know what the feels like is, right? How about you guys? No telling. There's no telling what that's supposed to be today. But yeah, come on in and grab yourself something cool to drink on this hot day. Oh, thanks, Nicole. And today our event is hosted from or by Nicole from Adoria Creations. So, hi Linda, how are you? Is it hot over there where you are too? I haven't heard anybody that is in an area that's not hot. How about that? So, yeah, come on in. Oh, speaking of which, I need to turn my fan on. I'll get too toasty if I don't turn my fan back on. I don't know how it got off. Anyway, there we go. We're gonna have some fun today. Now, every month, our uh, our mission in the pajama party is to add some certain element to our project. And today, it's an anchor. So today we have to add an anchor to our project. Do you guys have any anchors just sitting around ready to go, ready to add to your project? I, I did find one the other day. I don't know if you remember, but a while back we were doing some clusters of just making some embellishment clusters. And so I had a bunch of broken jewelry that I was pulling some stuff off. Oh, Sue says it's 87 in Michigan. Yeah, but you might have, your humidity might be high too, though. But I actually found a little anchor in the broken jewelry pile that I was working with. And I'm like thinking, I can't believe this. I can't believe that I ended up finding a fun little anchor right there, where I was working from in the first place. So that's always fun when you find something that you need. You don't even have to go hunting for it, right? That's always kind of a fun thing. So let me just one bit of housekeeping here. I want to make sure that I can see all the places to make sure I can get some uh, comments so I can see everybody's comments because that's what makes it fun, right? Being able to chit chat. There we go. I can see comments in a couple places, so we should be good to go. Well, so we have quite a few people today, and oh my goodness, who is up next after me? Let me check that out. I should have known already. I should have been able to tell you, but no, I was not prepared. Okay, so up after me is Anne with Anne's Create and Share. And then we've got Carol Adams Creations. And then Kathy with, oh my goodness. What is her page name? I don't know. Then you guys, if you're in the Crafty Bunch, that's the best place to watch because all you have to do is just refresh your page and then we're there. And then Cheryl from Mama P's Crafty Creations and then Nicole from Adoria Creations. So we got a whole lineup. Yes, Carol, we have started already. So, since we started the pajama party, we are good to go. I mean, it's time to get your PJs on and just enjoy it, right? Just enjoy the day in your PJs and don't look back. Don't even care what anybody thinks, right? Oh my goodness. You guys, I'm going to put you down here to the workspace here, and I'm going to show you what I found to work on. Let me see here. Boy, we're getting off to kind of a slow little start with our viewers today, you guys. Where is everybody? If you wouldn't mind, if you'd like to, send us out there, that would be great. You have your dad's navy lapel pin. Oh my goodness, and they have anchors and stars. That's cool. I love that, Linda. Look what I found, you guys. I found this little tin, and I have several of them. They were brand new, and I forgot that I had them, and I got them from Stampin' Up! Years and years ago. They're not super thick. They're only probably about, I don't even know if it's a ½ inch deep. I had saved an Altoids tin that I wanted to use for a fun little thing. And then when I saw this, I thought, I like this better because it's actually bigger. And so one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to decorate the top. And I've pulled out my, my Seaside Getaway collection. And so we've got that going for us. Oh, and I forgot to give you a link. Now I offered this last month too. When I'm done here, look on my page and I will put it back on my page. If you're watching on YouTube, it's already in the description there. But when you've got something like this and you're going to work on it, one of the best things to do is to clean it off and make sure that you don't have any oils or residues or anything on it. And that's like if you want to, that's for a lot of things that you might want to do on a surface. And the best way to do that is to just take a little bit of plain old rubbing alcohol. And this is just the 70% kind. And just take it and just wipe it. Just wipe it on your surface. And that will help take any oils or residue off. And sometimes you don't know what kind of things might be on a surface from their manufacturing process, really. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I never know. So that's out of my scope of expertise. So we've got that cleaned off, and I decided all I'm going to do on this is I'm going to put just one of the little background papers. And I printed out a couple because I thought it would be fun to try and I wasn't sure how much this would cover. I think I'm going to use this right here because I can get some of this little bit of a fence and some grasses in there. Unless I do this side, and then my anchor can just sit over in the corner. Let's try it. If we don't like, maybe this corner. Maybe I like that corner better, you guys. I don't know. And then I'm not going to use this one because I don't need any of this lighthouse thing. Oh my goodness. I'm getting alcohol on my paper. I dripped it. I saw it go shooting over there. Oh my word. Wonder what that's going to do to that. We'll see how that. I wonder if that's going to make a spot or if it'll just dry. So, who knows? What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my little tin upside down. And I'm just going to trace around it. Just like this. And then I'll have the little corners, rounded like we need them. I'll have the right, size for that. So I'm just going to trace around it here. And we'll see how this does. Let's see how that looks. And we might cut this out and say, oh no, we don't like that one. And then we'll use a different corner. But this will give us a starting point, right? You got to have a starting point. And I kind of like this little sailboat out here. And I thought about putting some paint on here around the little outer edge. I'm going to have to come back and do this. This is harder. But I decided I didn't want to put paint around the edge of that because it's so tiny. And all I would be doing is doing like just the little top edge. Hang on one second and I'll show you. I'll explain what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to ink the edge there. This is what I'm talking about. See this little edge? If I was going to do this, I'm only going to do this because I don't want to do the underneath part, because if you're doing the underneath part, you're going to be, it's going to pop up under here, and this part is going to be rubbing on it as it goes down, at least for sure in this area. And I thought, well, what would be the point if you're going to have part of it like rubbed off before you ever get started, right? So I decided, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the metal tint, just the metal showing there, and I'm just going to live with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, how is that? That seems too big, you guys. That's interesting. That needs a little bit cut off, even though we traced right around that. And and that can happen. It can be just a smidge too big, too small, but I guess I'd rather have it, I don't want it hanging off over the edge, because then it's just going to get bumped up and messed up. So we'll do it a little bit in, and then I'm going to ink the edge. So the inking will kind of give it a little bit of a better transition, I think. Oh, you guys, I don't even remember if I cut this part already. Did I cut this side? I need assistance. Oh, gosh. I don't even know. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit better. I like it. I think that fits better. Let's use that. So now, but let's do kind of a dry run here. We're going to put a little collection of stuff here. And for some reason, I like to put it kind of in the right hand section, but I mean, maybe we do that and then all of our stuff is just right here in this little collection right there. I wouldn't mind that. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. So let's just go ahead and do it. And then this will be kind of, into the background as we, add some other stuff to it, okay? So let's do that. And I'm going to ink it. I've pulled out this blue distress oxide that's called Stormy Sky. So I'm going to put that on first. And it has a lot of a kind of a gray tint to it. It's kind of a blue gray as you put it on here. In fact, I'm surprised how gray. I tested it out on a piece of white paper, and I'm surprised how how much gray it looks on here. In fact, this isn't anything like what I was hoping it would look like. I guess I should have gotten it brighter blue. Anyway, all that stuff is not close to me, and we will continue on. We'll just go for it, right? Except I want it a little bit more. I don't want it like a harsh line up there. I want it a little softer looking. I want it more messy. I need it messier, you guys. Okay, there we go. Phew. Hey, Jeanette. Hi. Hi, Capri. All right, so now we're going to put it on here. We're just going to layer it on here. And I think the way that I'm going to apply this on here today is to use some matte gel. And I have a little bit. And I was so pleased to find out when I pulled that out that it was not all dried up. So, it's just so disheartening when you've spent money on supplies that you think you're going to use and you really don't use them that much. And then you go to use them and then they're all dried out, or you can tell that they are just degraded to the point that you shouldn't probably use them because they either look weird, smell weird, or something, And I think that is just kind of well, it just makes me realize that I wasted money on something that I did not end up using, and I don't like doing that. I mean, if I spend the money on it, I'd like to use it, but there's so many fun things that we want to try, right? But I do like gel medium. This is a little bit thinner, whatever this kind is. It says matte gel, medium gel matte, and it's a little bit thinner. I like to use the kind that's a little bit thicker, but this will be fine. I think this is going to be good because it's not super wet. And I didn't want to get it super wet and make that paper all soggy. So let's just kind of slide it on here and get it on our little tin. It still is hanging out in odd ways. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's use bone folder. Kind of go out from the center and out. Make sure we've got it on there good. Okay. Oh, your humidity is lower today. Oh, that's nice. I know some of you have been suffering not only heat, but terrible humidity too. Okay, now I don't want to get too much of this on. I'm not really sure how this is going to do with this printable. Hopefully it's not going to make it run. I just want to coat it a little bit and kind of seal it. A lot of times I like to do this and just use my fingers because I can feel where I have put it. I can feel where it still needs some. But I think I'm going to just, I can kind of see it. I'm going to hold it kind of at an angle. And I think you could probably use, Mod Podge for this too. I just don't think I even have any Mod Podge right now. I don't use it a lot. I'd rather use like gel medium or something. How many of you are avid Mod Podge users? I know Jeannie Clifton from Clifton's Crafty Casa. She makes her own variety of a thing like that. She makes Clifton's Mod Podge, and it's just, she just uses distilled water and regular white glue, and she uses that all the time. Okay, I brought some water to stick my brush in a second. Okay, so there, we're gonna let that kind of dry, and I'm gonna move some things out of the way, and then we're gonna go make a little booklet. We're gonna make a little booklet to go in here for part of our little treasures to keep. Okay, so what I want to do today, the other day when we made the little booklet with the map, I had it sitting right here. Where did I put it? Oh, you guys, I had it right here. Well, I was going to show you. We're going to do something similar, but different. I don't know where that is. And you could even do this with just a plain 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And I was going to use one of the printables until I realized, well, that's not going to work, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold it. And so as we fold it, then we're going to have pages. This would be some of the pages. And so our sky would be upside down, right? So some of the pages, this would be sand on the bottom. This wouldn't be too bad. But I'm like, oh, well, you'd have to have a very non-directional print to be able to use it for this. You guys, I just like my little box like this. I'm just happy with that. So here's kind of the colors of, some of our things. Which do you think? I'm going to let you help me choose. Which do you think we should use for the background for our little booklet? The light color or the dark color? Are you sniffing ink and adhesives again? Linda, there's no telling. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you. Oh my gosh. I know. I probably thought, okay, I decided I'm not using that. Get it out of the way. That's crazy. Okay, what do you guys think? The light color or dark color? Carol says dark. I kind of like the dark one because I'll tell you why. I think that these kind of colors are really going to stand out on anything that we put it on, right? See how that looks like that? And this one is kind of pale. I think you're right. Carol, let's do it. Let's do it. So let me set this up out of the way so it doesn't get messed up. We'll put that back into the spot it goes. Okay, so since I was telling you that you could do this with an 8.5 by 11, that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to cut this piece down to 8.5 by 11. So let's swing its little arm out there and cut off 8.5. And I'm just going to go ahead and slice it all in one fell swoop here. And then 11. And then this is really easy. And if you use a lighter weight paper, you really don't even have to score it, you guys. I'm going to make sure that my scores are nice and straight for this. So basically, if you were going to just fold, not have to score it. Yes, I think we all agreed dark. Okay, so you could fold it in half and then do what I was showing you the other day. Then you could like open it up and then fold to that half because we just want it in fourths. And then you would fold it in half this way. So I'm going to score it in half this way, which, let's see, this is 8.5. So that would be 4 1/4. Look at me doing math on the go. Mathing in public. Oh my goodness. That doesn't even feel like it's hitting anything. I guess it did. And then, oh, now I don't want to have to do this. Okay, so half of this, 11. Okay, so this is 5.5. And on these things that have both, a cutting blade and the little scoring wheel, you always have to be super careful. I really, and doing it like this, you risk it being a little bit off, just a minute amount, but it's not going to matter. Okay, so that's 5.5, so we need to do 2 3/4. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Hope so. If not, we'll be using the light paper. And then I'll be saying, what should I have scored it at? Hey, Michelle, how are you? Welcome on in. Okay, does that look right? Guys, I'm going to fold it right now and make sure that's right. Yep, okay. Woo! So 2 3/4. And if you were using this, so that would be our measurements. Now you have the measurements, okay? So on an 8.5 piece of paper, you would do this you would score at 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. And then you would turn it 90 degrees, and then you would score this at 4 1/4, which that is not. That is just off a tiny bit. I'm not happy about that at all. Is this not, boy. I'm just going to do it a tiny bit over. So maybe we can, the score line is a little bit larger and maybe we can maneuver it into what we need. Okay, now then, done with that. So now what we're going to do is from this one to this one, from these folds right here, from these two, on this center line, we're going to cut that right down the middle from this one to this one. So this is just another little way. They call this a zine. Why? I don't know. I don't even like saying that word. You know, yes, I'm odd. I don't know why. I just don't like that word. Oh, I don't like calling it that, for one thing. I gotta get this to where I can see those. Okay. All right. So I gotta get with the program, you guys. We still gotta build something and put our anchor on. And so you're just gonna bring that just to that score line. Okay. So now you can see that it's like this, right? Okay, so fold that one down, fold this one down, make this one a fold. I don't even, that might not even be right. It's probably not. Nope, this needs to come this way. Just fold it around a lot until you figure out what it was supposed to be. Okay, now you're going to fold this in half, fold this one in half, and now you're going to push those together like that, okay? So we're going to use our bone folder and make it crispy. We want a crispy fold. Tell them Christy said to make a crispy fold. Okay, there we go. And now you're going to fold it like this. And now you've got this little booklet that doesn't feel like it wants to work. What in the world? Oh, you guys. I wonder if it's because that paper is so thick. That is no bueno. Or maybe those scores just are not. That would be really bad if it's not scoring at the right marks. Let's try this. You know, I've told you before, you're the boss of your paper. Make it fold how you want. Okay, I think we're going to be able to do it. Let's see. But look at that. That's not folding the best. I think this is one of those times you'd have to have some trim, right? And this isn't really, this is weird. This is probably the part you guys like watching me struggling. I'm like, now what's she gonna do? How is she gonna fix that? Who buy chickens? Who's looking at who has chickens and who's getting more? Oh, Linda's asking Michelle if she got some chickens. Okay. Oh, my friend in Denver. She told me the other day that she doesn't have her chickens anymore. You guys, I'm going to try and fold it the other way. She said a raccoon got her chickens. I'm like, oh my goodness. She lives in town. Okay, I think that we can live with this. We could put something fabulous on the edge. Okay, now this is going to be a lot like our other one, to where we can have some little side tucks by gluing some areas, or a top tuck like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my punch here, just ever so slightly, so I can remember which one is which. So I'm going to make a side one here. Oh, and a side one over here. I think I'll kind of hold it here so I can kind of get it in the same spot, hopefully. And then, do we want to do the top? No, I'm not going to do the top because that's going to be the cover. But maybe I'll do this one. Maybe I'll do the top of this one. And then you can just put something in there. You can make it for a little pocket. And those things are flying everywhere. Okay, so let's put a tiny bit of glue on here. So just a dab of glue will do it. Now, the way that the other one was made, we put glue along this part and this part. I'm not going to do that here because we're already struggling with how this is folding, so I don't want to do that. So we've got that there. Well, I don't know. I almost feel like it needs it, but yeah, I am starting to wonder if we would have folded papers just like I was talking about. I wonder if that would have given us a better folding than trying to, you know, score them with measurements. Hi, Myrna, how are you? Myrna is joining us over on YouTube today. Okay, so this one we've got to put some glue in the bottom though. So it's not going to matter. They are going to have to be secure because otherwise this one is going to fall out. And that'll help it that'll give it a little bit more structure. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, this will be the front. So I wish I'd have pulled something out that we could have used for a tiny bit of trim on there. But let's go ahead and let's get back to this and do our little decorating. And I'm going to pull out some stuff. I'm still chopping off this top that you guys have seen me use so many times. There's still pieces to be found on here. Nice sections to use. And so I'm still using it. I've gotten more use out of this $5 garage sale top than anything I've had in a long time for something like that. I mean, just little bits and pieces I have been chopping on forever. And every time I do it, it makes me feel bad because when I got it, the lady goes, "Oh, isn't that lovely?" I go, "It sure is." You know, you don't want to tell somebody that you're buying it out of their yard that you're not going to wear it. You're going to chop it all up. Oh, you have raccoons, Linda. Oh my goodness. We used to have raccoons where we lived, but we're in Minnesota, but where we lived, um, they called it the preserve, and it was open space. There was a big lake kind of across from us, um, and so a lot of open space. So there's no telling what kind of critter. We know there were deer. Sometimes we'd have deer in the backyard, you know, but no telling what we would have. When we moved up there, it was so funny. I kept thinking, I don't understand why people don't plant more flowers. They've only got a couple of things I ever see. Well, after we'd lived there a while, I could tell you why people didn't plant stuff. The squirrels would come and dig stuff out of the yard. I ended up I bought one of those collections that's like spring bulbs. And those squirrels dug those things up. I had one tulip in a weird place, and it lived there for many years. It was hilarious. Now that just seems like too much. We don't need that much. We just want a little bit. So this could be kind of like, wonder if you can you rip this stuff? Kind of, oh yeah. But then it kind of makes it curl up. Well, that's kind of cool. Kind of like that. Let's just put that here. Should we put it on this corner? I gotta get this little weird snippet off. Or should we put it on the other side? Okay, so we're gonna put that. This is not all we're putting, but should we just put all of it here in the corner? I don't know. This is still too big. I feel it's still too big. I guess maybe put more smaller ones in. But yeah, so the crazy squirrels would dig stuff up. And then I found out that the deer would eat stuff. And that didn't tear where I wanted it. So then I found out that was why, another reason was, people couldn't keep a lot of flowers. The deer would come to it, eat them up. I'm like, oh, well, that explains a lot. Oh, there. That's much better because it's much more sheer. I like that. Yeah, let's just put it right here. Right here. I know, Myrna. Isn't that great? Hi, Anne. Anne's going to be up right after me, you guys. Okay. So we'll just hold that there a second. And that net, that's kind of, it'll just like seep through the netting. So that's kind of nice. And hold those layers down. Okay, so we got that. Except I thought it was gonna, let's have it bend a little bit more over here. Okay, all right. So we can put our little anchor on here. And then we need some, let's get something that looks like it would be rope. So for this scale, we've got a little bit of, twine. What are we going to do with it, though? Who knows? Let's see. And sometimes these things like this, you almost have to let them, you have to kind of work with what they want to do. Maybe this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's try. I don't know. Let's try to get a little bit of glue on here. Thank goodness this glue is pretty quick. And then we'll just put a little bit here. A little bit here. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Guess I need to hold it for 1 second. Oh my goodness. How many of you do a lot of things around the water or have a place to do that? Where I grew up, we did not. So then when we moved to Minnesota and all the water, sports and things that everybody liked to do and be out on the lake and everything, that was just new to me. Although Mr. Adventure grew up down here in Texas, and he had grandparents that lived out on a big lake out in East Texas. And so they would go down there and, spend a lot of time in the summers and things. Okay. Oh, am I going to get that to stick? If I can just get it to stay in place, that's all I'm shooting for here. Just trying. Yeah, you guys, so we have people for many hours yet today in our pajama party. I can hardly wait to. And it's always fun for things like this where everybody is supposed to use like a special element that we have been assigned to use, and and to see how everybody does it, right? It's just always so fun and different. Okay, so we've got that on there. We can put our little anchor here. And I found some little shells. Or maybe even, well, these are kind of big. I had seen these. Oh, well, these wouldn't be too bad. That might be pretty. A tiny little blue, bit of blue, even though they're beads. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Let's open a different spot here. You guys, I found this thing that has like about 4 trays of these bead things, and I just knew that I was going to want to do a lot of beading. No, I never did. But I do have these, so that's kind of handy for times like this when I'm looking for something kind of, you know, fun. And so we do have some tiny little seashells here, and other pieces that are bits of shells. So I thought these would be perfect. Look at these tiny seashells. Oh, oh, I love that. Let's see. I think we should we probably need, well, and I don't know, you know, I can't help that they got holes in them, right? Although this tiny bit looks like it fell off of something. Well, it's so tiny, I don't know. Let's see. This piece, you can hardly see the hole in it. Okay, all right, we got some little pieces. Let's go ahead. Now, I wish the anchor thing was up a little bit so that it wasn't so flat down. Let me think a second. I don't know. I don't know what I would put down there to kind of prop it up a little bit. I should have probably done my swirling of that twine back under there a little bit more. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's going to look fine. No, I'm probably the only one that's going to think, oh, I wish it was tilted a different direction, right? Nobody else is going to say that. So I'm just going to put it on here, right here. And then that will be that. We'll have that part done. Actually, if I put it down here, it might tilt better. And it does. Okay, now I gotta carefully put these other doodads on here. I'm just gonna put a dot of glue and then I'm just gonna put it on. That was so cute. I love that tiny seashell. And turned that way, you really can't even tell. Well, I don't know. Or maybe we should put it over now. Well, I don't know. I don't really like that pink over there. This looks like a shell piece of pizza. The little triangle piece. You know, I think I will just leave, even though that's kind of a peachy color. Oh, well, this is kind of pretty. But we've got all those holes in them. You guys, arranging these tiny pieces, that's not very easy. Goodness. Not at all. What do you think's the most fiddly thing you've ever worked with? And then you thought, why did I do that? Hi, Jamie. You know, you get started and then it's like, okay, well, you got to keep going, right? Oh, I got glue all over me. And then there was this tiny piece. Oh, okay, I'm calling that done for now. What do you guys think? I think that's cute. I think that's okay. You like that? I don't, I think at some point you don't want to just keep adding stuff. On the screen, it looked like the glue was more prevalent than it really looks in person. Thanks, Linda. So I think I'm going to, I think I'm just going to leave that part. So let's go back and let's work a little bit on our tiny little booklet. Okay, so here's our tiny booklet. And we've got all kinds of little fun things. Oh, and you guys, oh, here it is. I found it. You guys, I thought this, I didn't finish doing any decorating on this the other day when we made it in the event. And this would be the perfect size for inside of here. This was made out of that big map from that atlas. But because of the colors for the the printable collection, they aren't really going to look that great on here. So I thought, well, that's not fun. Now, out of that same collection, I had made this fun little thing. This is just like a little tab bound thing. And I cut them, so I think these are like about a 4x6 or something like that, something close. And just made this tiny little thing. Now this would almost fit in here, except it is just a tiny smidge too wide. Now if I decided that I want to put that in there, I could do that. But we're talking about making some fun little thing to have on hand, and you could put a few little collectibles in something like this. Maybe some, I don't know what you would want to do. I don't know what kinds of things you like to save. But any few little things that you like to grab. Maybe you found some teeny tiny shells. You're at the beach and you found some teeny tiny shells. That would be fun to, put on. Maybe you've got some other memorabilia that you've, put on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut some of these things out. We'll just play like these. This is that collection. I printed this much smaller, and so this is really small for what we're doing here. But it was probably by mistake, right? But this was the freebie thing, and so I promised you that I would do that when I get done here. I'll go back. Now let's find something more fun than that to put on our front piece here. I wonder if this would be too big, this little thing with the signs. Oh, that's cute. Let's do that. I wish that was on thicker paper, but it'll be fine. Let's put this on there. That's cute. I am going to do it. So I like to just chop the things out to start with. How are we doing on time? We got a few minutes. We can make a little start to our little thing, and that'll give this a little bit of time to dry right there, because I can't really be doing a lot with it. I don't want to open the lid if it's not dry yet. So hi. Yeah, you can come in. Yes, I am on a live. It's okay. The people sneaking into the live area. Okay. So, and then tomorrow we have another event in the Crafty Bunch tomorrow too. And it's gonna be like pretty pins and like pin cushion things. I can hardly wait for that too. It's always so fun. Everybody comes up with some of the best ideas, and we just have so much fun. Okay, now how are we gonna do this? We'll kind of do that deal like the the sticker type cut. We're not going to care if we leave some white edges around this one. And we'll just do that. And that way we'll still have a little bit of these like little seagrass things. I don't know what you call them. That's the problem when you don't grow up around things, and you know, you feel like you don't know for sure if you're calling stuff the right thing. And the people that know are probably going, oh man, wrong. I don't know. I'm just calling it seagrass. So if anybody knows what it is, you'll have to tell me. Just a girl from the prairie land. You know, everybody's always surprised when they come in. Oh, especially going to Denver. You know, if you come into Colorado and you come in like from up in Nebraska and come in from like the northeast corner, I'm just like, that is not pretty up there. And I always think people are probably always thinking, why do they call it colorful Colorado? Well, you know, Colorado is the plains from the east until you get up to the mountains. Flat and much of it not pretty. And, you know, so, yeah, not so pretty till you get there. And then it's pretty. Okay. Alrighty. Now, let's tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this piece of paper here. See, this is my little sample one I did, and this is like just out of printer paper. And let me show you real quick. So if you're doing it like on paper that is a thinner thing, so what you can do is you fold it in half, and then you can take this, fold it to the edge, do the other side, fold it to the edge like that, and then all of those are, you know, equal. And then you just have to fold it in half this way, right? And then you're still just cutting along this this score line from, you know, from this one to this one. And then, you know, this just is so much easier. That I would say do not do it from cardstock. That is just too thick, and it just folds so much nicer, you guys. I mean, this is perfect. It is folding great. So you'd say seagrass. Excellent. What type of scissors are you using for fussing? These are called cutter bee. They're called cutter bee, and they're not really expensive. I have had these things for years and years. I love them. I just like the way they feel. You know, a lot of times, you guys, scissors aren't so much how they cut. I think a lot of time, well, it's that, but a lot of times it's how they feel in your hand. You know, I mean, do they just feel good cutting, or, you know, not? And sometimes that's, you know, that's kind of the true test of if it's good scissors for you. Okay. Look at that. My goodness, that just fit just right. Let me smash it down here. That's cute. Aw. Aw. Look at that. Look how cute that is. And then we have all kinds of other stuff. In this, I mean, you know, you don't have to use this collection, but, you know, all kinds of fun things. Or, you know, you can put little fun things in here. This would be fun. You could even keep some little receipts or something in here as you were working, or, you know, as you're on a trip. You could put some white papers on here and use it as a little tiny journal. Wouldn't that be fun to just use it as a little journal? I think that'd be great. In fact, let's just cut out a little piece right here. I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller. Oh, it's not going to be, you know what, it is. It is not going to be straight, you guys. I don't think putting it on something where it looks matted is going to make it look nice. You know what, let me grab my, let's do this. Let's just cut it straight, and then we can actually use it better. Oh yeah, I was way off. Sometimes when you cut something by hand and then you look at it, it's like, oh, that is way, way off. sea oats. Linda, I've heard that term before. Yeah. So then you could put this in here, just like this, and glue that down. And then you'd have a tiny bit of something for a little bit of journaling. That is still really, well, it's not too crooked. I was going to say, that is really crooked. It wasn't too bad. Let's put that down. I love when I have a piece of paper that has nothing on one side, and I have it, and then I get ready to glue it, but I turn it over to glue it. It's like, why? Why did I do that? It's just, I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. That paper is so thin. Because it's just printer paper. Let's try to get it on here, though. I'm afraid it's going to have glue marks on it, though. Okay, so let's use this and kind of smooth it out. Yep, it's crooked on the bottom. Oh, well. It is what it is. And if somebody says something about it being crooked, we'll just go, it's supposed to be that way. It was meant to be that way, right? Okay, we have just a few minutes. So you could just keep doing that. Let's see if this is enough. We'll see how this fits in here. You guys stay tuned. Be sure and refresh your page if you're in the Crafty Bunch. So now we can open. I like this. I think this has turned out cute. The grass hurt if you step on broken stems. Oh, that's interesting. So now our little booklet here can fit right in here. It actually can go both ways, you guys. And you could put other little fun things in there. Like if you had some little tickets or receipts or, I don't know, like I said, tiny shells. Anything that you would want to put in your little keepsake thing. Now this particular one, you know, it would be hard to keep a lot of things in it because it's so thin. It's not very deep. But, you know, make a little booklet like this one. Okay, this is the one I was telling you. See, it is just a smidge too big. Just a smidge. And that would be fun to put something in here. We made this, and look, we made little pockets and just decorated it a little bit. Had some tuck spots in it. And, you know, just, I don't know. It's just fun to make little doodads. Why? I don't know. Because we can, right? Because we can. Thanks for being here, you guys. It's been fun. Anne's coming up, and we're going to check and see what she's going to do. What kind of anchor do we think Anne will use today? I don't know. I almost want to cut this thing so it'll fit in here, you guys. I honestly do. But I'm afraid, let's see, this would cut this end off. This one wouldn't be too bad. This one wouldn't be too bad. I don't know. It'd probably make it look funny. Too funny. Too funny for me. But look at that. Isn't that cute? And then you could put a few little, if you had some little things, you could put some little doodads in here. Maybe you have a tiny little, not a map, but I don't know. I'm just blabbing at this point, you guys. Can you round the corners? You know, I thought about that, Linda, but I don't think it would matter because that's not exactly, it's still too big in through here. I mean, it'd still be really close. It would be really super close. I thought about that. Thank you. Really. You know, you get something so close. Well, you know, and when I did that, I didn't know I was going to make a fun little tin, right, to decorate. So if I would have known that, I could have made it for that size. And, you know, just some fun little things that you might have to put in. And just, I don't know. What kinds of things have you guys brought home from somewhere you went that you kept? Now, I've been to the beach, and we did keep shells. So, I mean, that was for sure. Little seashells. What have you guys kept? Anything? Thanks, Myrna. What have you kept that you know, that would be small enough to put in a tiny little trinket holder thing? I don't know. I don't know. You just put some little fun things in here. A tiny treasure map. Wouldn't that be fun? And here's just a little map. Yep. Just some fun. And you don't have to use it for anything specific that has a true you know, purpose like that. It doesn't have to be a trip. You could fill the whole thing with all of the fun things, like from this, you know, little kit, something like this. Here's like a little postcard. We can cut this little postcard out, and that'll be a little bit of memorabilia from our pretend trip to the beach. Seashells and sea glass. Oh my goodness. Yes. If they weren't, yes. And, you know, maybe your little tin or your box. I mean, you can do this on a box. And anything that you've got room to put in. I love sea glass. I've never found any sea glass in person, but I love it. I just love the colors and how pretty it looks. A small bottle filled with sand. Oh, I love that. Myrna, that is a great idea. Kim, right? Postcards and maps. Smash pennies from those machines. Ruth, that is exactly right. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, you guys, it's time now for Anne. Let's go over. Refresh your page. Anne's Create and Share is on now. So thanks for hanging out with me, you guys, and enjoy the rest of the pajama party today. Get your pajamas on. Don't don't jump on the bed too much. I don't want anybody having problems, okay? We will see you later. Bye, you guys. If I can find the place to turn it off. Bye.